before we get started with the auction itself, and good luck, what we simply do, a disputed bid I should say, is simply just refer back to the undisputed bid prior and commence the auction. Now, at the end of the auction, if the reserve is reached and breached, no doubt someone will be punching the air and pretty 2022. Interest rate for late settlement is 15%, so we want to avoid that if we can. Definitely. The address we're selling here is B/1431. I absolutely encourage you to bid strong. The market is growing. Oh crap, I saw that it was described in the blurb by Aaron as neat as a pin. Perfectly described. What a absolutely wonderful little property. It's got the 3 bedrooms. It's got that wonderful deck. You can just see Alright, it's just gone 1 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen, so we will get underway. Welcome to another Property Brokers auction event. My name is Chris Moore. I will be your auctioneer today. Before we get underway, just want to start with a few thank yous. Really want to thank our vendors, Eugene and Lisa. As I'm sure you can appreciate, auction day for vendors is full of mixed emotions, nervousness, excitement, anxiety. What I would say is Eugene and Lisa, you guys have been absolutely fantastic to work for. I know that this property has been a fantastic investment property for you guys over the last number of years. So good luck with today's sale. Really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to list, market and sell this property. All the very best for today's transaction and all of your future property endeavours. To our listing agent, Joe Preby. Joe, thank you very much for all of your hard work. Really appreciate the work that's gone into this campaign. I know you've really enjoyed working with Eugene and Lisa. Likewise, showing people this property, taking them on the journey of seeing the property, being here today to bid. So thank you, Joe, for all of your hard work. For those of you who are here today to buy the property, good luck. If there's anything I can say about the current market, it is performing at incredibly high levels, and I would encourage you to bid with confidence today based on that. Just looking at some numbers last week, property prices in the last 12 months are up 50% and sales volumes are down 50%. That is having a real supply and demand issue on the market. That is having an upward impact on prices. Today will be your best opportunity to purchase the price. Absolutely no secret that we're a matter of days away from the Auckland borders opening up. We're a matter of months away from our international borders opening up. The number of people who are looking to make Christchurch, Canterbury home is going through the roof. Again, this will have more of an impact on the property market. Today will be your best opportunity, so bid with confidence and all the very best of you to you in regards to today's auction. Do appreciate some of you may be very familiar with auction. You may have bought and sold property at auction before. For others, this may be your first experience at auction. So just before we get underway with the auction, I'm just going to run through the conduct of today's auction and a couple of key particulars and conditions, just to make sure we're all on the same page. So as far as the conduct goes, today's auction is subject to a reserve. I have met with the vendors, we've set that reserve. That reserve will remain confidential between myself and the vendor, regardless of the outcome of today's proceedings. Subject to that reserve being reached or breached, subject to me announcing that the property is on the market. The highest bidder after that level will be the successful purchaser. On the subject of reserves, for those of you who may be new to auction, if the reserve is not met, it's not the end of the process. All we simply do is pause the auction. We've got the vendors outside in the car park. We'll get the group who hold the leading bid into one of the back rooms, and I'll facilitate some negotiations between the two groups. If we're able to reach an agreement between the two groups, we'll bring the auction back into here, reopen the bidding, and if there are no further bids, the property will be sold. Just one point, the vendor does retain the right to withdraw the property from auction at any stage during today's proceedings. During those negotiations, they may elect to withdraw the property from auction and deal directly with that purchaser they're working with, which will preclude the auction from coming back into the room, meaning there may not be an opportunity. So if you want that exclusive right to negotiate with the vendor, if you want to control the situation, my advice to you is hold the leading bid, enter into negotiations with the vendor, and control the situation from there. As the auctioneer, I nominate the sum by which the bidding can be raised. I also do retain the right to refuse any bid. Doesn't happen very often, generally only on 2 occasions. If I get a very low opening offer from the floor, I may refuse it, or if I get an offer of a very low incremental rise early in an auction, I may refuse it. Please don't take it personally. It's not that we don't want you to buy the property. As I'm sure you can appreciate, we are acting in our vendors' best interests. And whilst it's a lovely afternoon in here, I'm sure we've all got places to be, things to do, and none of us want to be here tonight at 7 o'clock going up in $1 bids. So work with me on that regard. As the auctioneer, I do have the right to bid on behalf of the vendor. I will only bid on behalf of the vendor if I am below that reserve price. And I'll make it very clear to you that that's what I'm doing, that I'm bidding on behalf of the vendor. I'll use terminology such as vendor bid, the bidder's with me, bidding on behalf of the vendor, and as I say, only below that reserve price. As mentioned, the vendor does have the right to withdraw the property from auction at any stage during today's proceedings. If they do elect to withdraw the property from auction, they are under no obligation to disclose the reserve price nor the eventual sales price if they do not wish to. If a dispute arises, very simple, we do have someone recording the bids here today. We simply refer back to the last undisputed bid, set off again from there, and carry on. To conclude the transaction, once that property has reached or breached the reserve, once I've announced the property on the market, once the hammers come down, once the successful purchaser have done their handshakes, done their high fives, whatever it is you do to celebrate purchasing a property like this, we do have some paperwork we need you to complete. We need you to sign the memorandum of contract. We need you organised to pay the 10% deposit into the property broker's trust account at your earliest convenience. We are selling today GST inclusive, so there isn't any GST information required in Schedule 1. And then we've got a lovely bottle of champagne here for you to take away. You can leave here the proud owner of this wonderful opportunity. So all very simple, all very straightforward, all very standard. As far as the conditions of sale go, my understanding is all registered bidders have been provided with a copy of the full auction information pack. In that information pack is a copy of the particulars and conditions. Those are the terms and conditions we are selling on today. We take that as read. We take it that anyone who is here bidding has utilised their right to seek legal advice if they so wish prior to bidding, and make it very clear that we are a cash unconditional basis today, and upon the fall of the hammer the property will be sold. So I'll refer to that document now. Just a couple of key points to note. We are selling today with vacant possession in place, and the settlement date is set down for Friday the 25th of March 2022, with the interest rate for late settlement being 15%. The chattels list is as per the contract that you've been provided, no changes there. On the subject of that vacant possession, we do have a tenant who is keen to stay on, who would be keen to continue tenanting the property if that is the vendor's wish, but with that vacant possession clause in place, that's up to you. You choose how you want to run it. That's on your terms and conditions. Settlement date set down for Friday the 28th of January, as I said, 25th of March. Interest rate for late settlement 15%, so obviously don't recommend that. The property itself is set on a freehold title of 759 square metres, great size section, with the legal description being Lot 1, deposited plan 28286, with the record of title being CB 10B bar 1002. And what a fantastic property this is. To Joe's headline, a property for those who can see an opportunity, and what a wonderful summation of what this property offers. As mentioned, we have a current tenant who has indicated to us they would love to stay on. Makes an ideal time for a purchase. You can get the benefit of that income. At the same time, either plan your new build, plan your future development, whatever it is. If you're an investor looking to buy into the market at the moment, what we know with this property is it's compliant with its insulation, existing tenant in place, ticks a lot of boxes. If future developments on your plans, buy the property now, hold with the tenant in place, develop down the track. If you're just looking to get onto the property ladder, if you're looking for a first home opportunity, again, ticks a lot of boxes, get started, get yourself on the property ladder, pay a mortgage rather than rent, and get yourself ahead. We know this area is gaining in popularity. We know this property is just a short stroll from the beach and all the wonderful things and opportunities that North New Brighton offer. This area is going ahead. It's becoming more and more popular, and opportunities like this are getting harder and harder to find. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand it over to you. I'm going to call for an opening offer or bid on 40 Britannia Street, and let's get the auction underway. So I'm in your hands, ladies and gentlemen. Opening offer or bid on 40 Britannia Street. Who'd like to start me away? Opening offer or bid? Silence reigns. We're all going to play our cards close to our chest. No problem at all with that. I'll tell you what I'll do, ladies and gentlemen. I'll make it pretty simple for you. I'll send you a signal. I'm going to start with a vendor bid. I'm going to start with a bid on behalf of me. I'm going to start at a level that I'm sure you're all going to be happy with. We're going to start at $450,000, ladies and gentlemen. The bid with me at $450,000. Who'd like to advance me on that? $450,000. Got a bit of a $450,000. The bid with me at $450,000. Who'd like to advance me on that? $450,000. Got a bit of a $450,000. Who'd like to take me on from there? $450,000. Got a bit of a $450,000. Who'll take me away from there? $450,000. Got a bit of a $450,000. Great value. Great value here, ladies and gentlemen. $450,000. Find an opportunity, find a freehold title of 700 square metres with a current tenant in place for this money. Seems like great value to me. $450,000. Got a bit of a $450,000. I'll tell you what I'll do, ladies and gentlemen. I'll move it on behalf of the vendor. Going to keep the bid with me. Going to move it on behalf of the vendor to $470,000. $470,000. Got a bit of a $470,000, but I'll give you a $10,000 rise from here. Who wants to be $480,000? $470,000. Got a bit of a $470,000. The bid with me at $470,000. I'll offer you that little 10 if you want it to make it $480,000. $470,000. Got a bit of a $470,000. I said it at the start. I'll say it again. If you want that right to negotiate with the vendor, if you want to shut the door on all those conditional buyers, now is the time to act. $470,000 a bid with me at $470,000. Will you dive in at $480,000? First call. At $470,000. $480,000. $480,000 then.
No, 1,000.
1,000.
Yep.
1,000. Will you make it a 5? Give me something to work with. Make it a 5. Go 475. I'll take your 5.
Yeah.
$470,000. The bids with me. I'll give you that 5 if you want it to make it 475. $470,000 here. First call. $470,000. Second call, $470,000. Sure you won't. Final opportunity. Bid with me. I'll give you a 5. Will you be 475? Yep, 475 there. $475,000. $475,000. Got a bit of a $475,000. The bid's out here to my right at $475,000. $475,000. Same opportunity for everyone else. I'll give you a little $5,000 if you want. Who wants to take me through to $480,000? $475,000. Got a bit of a $475,000 out here to my right. $475,000. Still seems like great value to me at this level, ladies and gentlemen. $475,000 out there to my right. First call at $475,000. Second call at 475,000. Third and final, 475,000. Sure you won't. Okay, what we're going to do there, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to pause the auction. John, if you can take your group into the room there, I'm just going to go and have a chat with the vendors, seek some advice from my vendors, and we'll be back with you shortly. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your patience. Very pleased to be able to announce that the leading bidder has raised their bid to $500,000 and the property is now for sold. Congratulations. Thank you.